Hi and welcome back to the course. In this video, we're going to look at the last HTTP method, which is put. And put can be used as an idempotent action, which means that you can call the same put request 2, 3, 5, 10 times in a row, and the output or what it causes should never change. Okay? So what that means is that put can be used to both create items or update an existing item. Let's create the put method here. And then what we're going to do is the usual. Get data from the request. And then essentially create the item or update the item if it already exists. So what's the first thing to do? Find out if the item already exists. So item is going to be next of the filter function. And what we're filtering on is a specific name. So lambda x name equal name for items, and none as the default value. So remember, here we're filtering, and then we're getting the next available value of that filter object, or we're getting none if there are none left. So if item is none, we want to create a new item. So we'll say item is name, and price, data price. Items append item. And if item is not none, it means it already exists. So what we're going to do is we're going to update it. Now, it's really cool because the item is going to be a dictionary, and dictionaries have an update method. So we can just say item update with data, and the values in item will change together with the values in data. So if data has a price, the item's price will change to reflect that. This is slightly dangerous because it does mean that the data may have a name, and that will change the item's name. But we'll deal with that very soon, in the next video, in fact. And then we return the item to reflect that the changes have happened. Remember, for verification and for fun, you can put the @JWT required on any of these, and they will require a JWT token, an authorization header, to be executed. I'm just not doing it for simplicity, but you can do, and you probably will do in your production APIs. Okay, so we've created the put endpoint. Let's go ahead into the terminal and restart this, and then go over to Postman. And remember, we're going to be verifying, so I'm just going to close these other tabs here. Apologies for that. So first of all, let's get the list of items, which should be empty. And then we're going to create a new item. Now that creates an item just fine. And now we should be able to modify the item. So now I'm going to put the item's name here, and then in the body, we can change the price. So I'm going to put, for example, $59.99, which is pretty cheap for a piano. And what we get back is the new price. Now we can also do something like a desk and give it a price of 110. And that creates a brand new item there. Let's go back into the items endpoint and call that, and you can see that there's 2 items there. So I'm not lying to you, everything does work as you would expect. And that's really important for a put endpoint, an endpoint that uses the HTTP put verb to be idempotent. So you can call the same endpoint, which I've got here. You can call the same endpoint 10 times, and you don't end up with 10 items. You just end up with the same item. So no matter how often you call it or how many times you call it, the output never changes. Well, that's everything for this video. We've learned how to implement a put request in our API, and I'll see you in the very next one.